Good afternoon, teacher Cosme. My name is Jesus Garcia Renteria, and this is my topic, my last learning outcome, and my last work with you. And the topic is the new global order. Hope you enjoy it. In this learning outcome, I will explain the globalization and different concepts that compose international phenomena concepts like globalization, trade, the digital revolution, and terrorism. And also describe how positively and negatively the globalization influenced the world, the relation to development and developing countries. Globalization. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, globalization means the increase of trade around the world, especially by large companies producing and trading goods in many different countries. The globalization is useful. I think that is very useful for us and for all the world and the large economic countries. But this tool is difficult to use. As country, you have to be well prepared to introduce it successfully. Globalization can help the economy of a country, and also the principal factor that causes that you have your car, smart TVs, and all that technological and fancy stuff. The Washington Post says that 20 years ago, globalization was pitched as a strategy that would raise all boats in poor and rich countries alike. In the United States and Europe, consumers will have their pick of inexpensive items made by people thousands of miles away whose pay is much lower than theirs. And in time, trade barrier will drop the support even more multinational expansion and economic gains while the geopolitical cooperation would flourish. This opinion was taken from Forbes from Mike Collins. Globalization pros. According to Mike Collins and their note in the magazine Forbes, some pros and cons of globalization are supporters of globalization argue that it has most potential to make this world a better place to live and to live in solve some of these seated problems like unemployment and poverty. Free trade is supposed to reduce barriers such as tariffs, value-added taxes, subsidies, and other barriers between nations. But regardless of this, there are still many barriers for trade. The proponents say globalization represents free trade, which promotes global economic growth, create jobs, make companies more competitive, and lower prices for consumers, into others. The general and also the globalization have cons. The general complaint about globalization is that it's made of rich richer while making the not rich poor. It's wonderful to managers, owners, and investors, both health workers and nature. As you can see in the second place, globalization is supposed to be about free trade, where barriers are eliminated, but there are still many barriers. For instance, 161 countries have value-added taxes, and imports which has hike of 21.6% in Europe. The United States doesn't have VAT. It's a thing that I explained here over here that is still many barriers for trade for so many countries. And well, this I will explain it later. Trade. According to the dictionary of Cambridge, sorry, I committed a mistake here. Trade can be two different definitions, but both refers to the same. The activity of buying and selling or exchanging goods and or services between people or countries. In a few words, business activity. The digital revolution. According to the Technopedia, the digital revolution refers to advancements of technology from analog electronic and mechanical devices to digital technology available today. This era of innovation begins in the, ni- the 1980s and is still existing in nowadays. Terrorism. The terrorism is most of the ancient radical groups of history. It's one of the well, it's a thing that exists and during the well, just a few years later of the born of Jesus Christ, to be exact. The Zealot was an anti-political movement in first century of Jude's Galilee. According to Oxford, terrorism means the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, in pursuit of political aims. When I was in third tetra, I make a thesis in integral communication about terrorism, and I explain all this stuff and how terrorism affect a country, and also how terrorism, well, the causes of the terrorism. Well, in my case, this video helped me a lot to explain and to understand better the situation in Syria. I won't play it because it will take too many time to listen all, and it's in Spanish. But teacher Cosme, I invite you to see it later, because it's very interesting, and I consider that you will find it useful for future classes, and also for understand better when the causes of terrorism and why these people do what they do. What is the WTO? The World Trade Organization is charged to facilitate organization of dealing with rules and trade within nations. The WTO agreements are lengthy and complex because they are legal texts covering a wide range of activities. But a number of simple fundamental principles run through all these documents. These principles are the foundation of the multilateral trading system. And multilateral refers to is that many countries or many people result with benefits of each trading. Rules of the WTO: they don't discriminate. A country should not discriminate between trading partners and should not discriminate between own and foreign products, services, or nationals. More open, liberating trade barriers is one of the most obvious ways to encourage trade. These barriers include customs duties, and measures such important bans of quotas and restrict quantities of subsidy. And predictable and transparent. Foreign companies, investors, and governments should be confident, and trade barriers should not be raised arbitrarily with stability and predictability. Investing is encouraged. Jobs are created, and consumers can fully enjoy the benefits of competition. I will just let you to read all the rules of the WTO, and later I will critique and criticize all these rules, because I think that is not all they are followed. When was integrated and how many countries make it up? And the WTO was founded in 1st of January of 1995, and 164 countries are part of this are part of it since the 20th July of 2016. In my opinion, I don't agree totally with the World Trade Organization. It is true that countries need for each other to grow up in economic way, but in my point of view, this organization only benefits the United States and expands of smaller developing nations. At the expense of developing nations. You must be agree with me that smaller countries with less economic development have less chances to trade with other ones, because they don't have much to offer. And because of this, the WTO don't pay too much attention today, because they can produce money at larger economies. The less democratic and smaller country that and the more smaller a country, the more its trade flow reduced and it's stuck by a disaster. Heisenberg. As you can see, the WTO, like World Bank or the EMF, only would benefit the larger economies. This priming of the market will benefit all the trading nations, especially the biggest traders, England and North America. This is taken from the book of Danner and the 50 days. Well, in the last uh, Well, for finish my presentation, I make this conceptual map. It's a new world order, the globalization, the pros and the cons I explained earlier in this video. Oh my God, in this video, and the cons. Also, World Trade Organization. What is it? As I explained before, the digital revolution, the ads advantage and disadvantage, helps to conclude easy treats and also obtain info without mention that we can talk with people that are away from us. Digital revolution is very useful for us because it begins at certain year. Sorry, in the sorry, I lose the here. In the 1980s, was when the digital revolution begins, and it continues nowadays. And the advantage of the digital revolution is make us dependent from technological gadgets. The consume of false notes and news is common. And how it affects or benefit the terrorism. Easiest way to produce terror and send messages to all the world. But some pros of the digital revolution against the terrorism is the facility the way to catch them or kill them. Well, this was all my work. I hope you enjoy it. Teacher Cosme, it was a pleasure to work with you and hope you doing fine in your life and continue doing your work like that. And see you in the next time. I think so. And have a nice day. And thank you for being my teacher. Really, really, it has been a pleasure, and I learned a lot from your classes, and I learned a lot this tetra for of history, and that is one of my favorite topics. Thank you.